Hey smokers, Rock1 here, and today we're going to be taking another look at the Gateway FX RAID 0 SSD machine here. And again, we're looking at the Intel Matrix Storage Manager for the Gateway FX. It is now in RAID mode, and I have both of the drives here again. So this is what the utility looks like after disk utility was done with it. As you can see, our RAID volume is gone. It destroyed it in the process of actually setting up its software RAID. So it wasn't actually doing anything hardware-wise in there that was giving it any extra mojo or something like that. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it all over again. I'm going to create a new RAID volume. Of course, we're going to do Stripe again. This time, balls. Go back. Damn it! Wait, I don't want to call it just volume. Weed. I'll call it weed. RAID 0. Except this time I'm going to set it to 16 kilobytes. Good friend of mine, Akabakuku, runs his main laptop on a RAID 0 SSD setup using, I believe it's 2 M-SATA drives, which is just bizarre. Or was it an M-SATA and a SATA? I don't remember what it was exactly, but he uses a 16 kilobyte strip size. So we're going to try that. But the main difference now is instead of doing Hackintosh, we're just going to do basic, plain old... Oh yeah, and I just wiped out the macOS volume and everything I did with it just then, so sorry about that, everybody. We're not going to be using this. We're going to be using this. Just a plain old copy of Windows 7 Home Premium, because the computer originally came with Windows Vista Home Premium, so I figured it's appropriate. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in. Now, according to Intel's website, the Intel Matrix Storage Manager doesn't require any third-party driver, custom RAID driver installs for Windows Vista and above. It's only if you're using Windows XP do you have to manually install the driver. So that's something Windows 7 can apparently do that macOS 10 cannot. However, macOS 10 was not designed to work with the Intel RAID drivers ever, so that's understandable. So now that we have our RAID volume up, it's RAID 0 Stripe with a strip size of 16 kilobytes, making a total drive size of 220 gigs. It says it is bootable, so exit, yes. It's now going to boot off the CD. Now we're starting Windows, which is just the installer, not anything special. And we're here, Windows 7 setup. Install now. Now this is sort of what I was doing when I'm going to do right now what I was expecting to do with the Windows 10 RAID. I thought I was just going to detect the drive, wouldn't have to do anything else, and I'm hoping I don't have to do anything else. Holy crap! This would get considerably annoying. So this should be a really quick. All I have to do is just accept the license agreement, and let's do a... I don't know why it's giving me the option to upgrade. There's nothing on any disk anywhere. But let's do custom. And oh my... Oh, what a relief. Oh my lord. Okay, so take a look at this. Windows 7 already understands it already has the RAID driver for the Intel chipset, and it detects it as a 200 gig drive. So what are we going to do? We're going to, I guess, click next. And there it goes. Just copying Windows files to the RAID right now. And that's it. It's the easiest thing in the entire universe. This is probably the easiest video I've had to make. Oh my god. Please don't jinx it. doop boop doop boop doop doop boop doop. Boop.
It's restarting. Probably booting from the CD-ROM again. Oh wait, that's new. I think we're okay. Okay, we're good. You may continue. Very well.
It's booting. I don't know to what. Moment of truth. Don't boot to CD or DVD. Hey! You can't see it, but it's working. Oh shit. It gave me the option to try to boot to CD or DVD by, you press the space bar or whatever. And I didn't press the space bar, and it's doing this straight off the RAID. Cool. It's working. I think. Holy shit. Well, wasn't that just the quickest install? Well, let's go ahead and do this. Oh, come on. Okay, fine. There. RAID 0 Gateway FX. Type a password. Retype the password. Password hint is required. Didn't see that one coming, did you, Microsoft? Requited? Dun dun! How do you spell a quad? There we go. So, home network, and the Wi-Fi is already working. Something tells me that's going to be the only thing that's going to be working. And we're done. Fishing accomplished. Alright, so we can get rid of this. Don't need to boot off this anymore. So that was the easiest RAID install I've ever done. Mainly because we were using Intel RAID stuff, which makes it easier. It's harder when you're using some random ass third party like I was trying to do in the last RAID video. Or 2 RAID videos ago, I suppose, at this point. So yeah, this is a driverless, or maybe not so much. No, it just applied standard graphics adapter there, kind of a cheating way of doing it. Mass storage controller, maybe it doesn't have the driver for the RAID, but clearly it's working. Disk drives, weed. Standard disk drive. Microsoft driver from 2006. Who cares? It's working. So let's see how fast it starts up. Now, I don't have anything installed on it. Let's go ahead and restart it. This time I'm going to start it from the point where I see the BIOS, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be quick as fuck. That is, if you can see the watch, because I have this weird exposure thing going on here. Oh god, it looks terrible. Oh god, I can't move. Oh shit. Well, we're at 12 seconds. I don't know if you can see that. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Take too longer. Fuck. Why is it taking so long? 20, 23. Oh, fuck. There's a login. God damn it. That's pretty good. It'd probably be less than 30 seconds minus that login, maybe faster. 20 seconds is not bad. Then again, we may, this, like I said before, this may actually have SATA 2. So, but then again, I've been told that some computers boot up in like 4 seconds. We're not quite there with this yet. But it is a kind of a cool thing. We can go on a computer and see that it is a 200 gig drive. Yeah, for sure, right there. 200 gigs, Windows 7 installed pretty well. Actually, it detects the hardware of the drive itself is called weed. Like, the hardware is identifying itself as weed. It's not the the drive name. The drive name is just local to C. I can make that like Snoop Dog or something. Okay, do it. But over here it's still called weed. So that's just what the hardware showing up as hardware instead of like Western Digital or Samsung, whatever. It's just called weed, which is kind of funny. So leave that like that, and it works. There's probably fantastic performance on this. Let's get Crystal Disk Mark, because that's actually something we can frickin' use now. Save. Desktop, because I don't have to look for it. It's downloading, it's done. Open the folder, but it's just the desktop, so close all the tabs, get the fuck out of my way. Extract all. Extract. It's done. Hopefully this is 64-bit Windows, because I don't fucking know. Okay, it is, so go to hit that. 64. Run. C2. So let's run all of the tests. See how long that takes. Probably take a couple minutes, right? Okay, we're done. So these speeds are actually pretty good. They're pretty much almost exactly, probably doing a little bit better actually in some areas, not so much in others. Better than my 850 Evo connected to SATA 3. Now, these speeds are reflective of one drive on SATA 3, one SSD on SATA 3. So that either means that this is a SATA 3 laptop, and that means that the entire SATA 3 bus only allows for 6 gigabits per second of bandwidth, or this is SATA 2 times 2. And the bandwidth is per port. I don't know which one of those is true, but that's a pretty decent speed. The only way we would really know is if we redid the test, we reinstalled the operating system on a third SSD without the RAID 0, but this is RAID 0 speed, so something tells me that certain access times will be higher. However, everything else is pretty much the same, if not a little bit worse than just a regular 850 Evo plugged into a SATA 6 port. So hell, I don't fucking know anymore. These damn SSDs driving me to drink smoke. So yeah, that's it. I don't have any of the drivers for it. Let's go find some drivers. So we're gonna ignore for a second the Gateway's website kind of sucks when it comes to looking for drivers. You might think that you're searching for notebooks, you might look for the Gateway FX series. No, there's nothing there. It's actually, this laptop is the part of the P series, and it's a P78. More specifically, a P7801U. Now, this apparently covers all of the P78 models, and you can see the icon there. It definitely does look like a Gateway FX, so that's good enough for me. Now, the rest of the stuff here is the downloads. We need probably will need the Conextent or Realtek audio driver. Probably neither of these, because I heard that the audio is working, so who cares? Chipset, usually don't need that. LAN driver, probably that doesn't work, but if it does, then we're good. Who gives a crap about the modem? Touchpad's working. The NVIDIA VGA driver, which is just, I can get from NVIDIA's site. So the only thing I really would be getting at this point would be the Ethernet driver. And the Ethernet driver works, okay. So I almost don't even need any of this. The only thing I need is to go to NVIDIA's website and get that. This is always a memorable experience. GeForce 9M. Windows 10 anniversary update. How about Windows 7 64-bit, bitch? Ah, well, look at that. You download that. Actually, I could have downloaded this on the actual computer, but I'm dumb and went to another computer to go do it. Well, this is hilarious. Take a look at this. This is one of the PDFs I just downloaded. Oh. Okay, so there's more to it. Okay, so it's basically everything I already know. Okay. Oh well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay, never mind. This actually is pretty useful. This is an official guide of how to like take this thing apart, if you need to. Oh, well, look at that. Replacing the Wi-Fi card. Okay, well, I underestimated. Basically, my joke is that this was the first page of the manual thing here. It's just like, replace the AC adapter, connect the power cord, plug it in, turn it on. That's it. What? Never mind. Oh, hey, this is something I always wanted to frickin' know. See this right here? This is the volume control capacitive touch slider thing. And I've never been able to figure out how the hell that thing works. Just never could figure it out. Let's see if the manual can tell me how to use it. Oh no, it doesn't. It just glazes right over that. Yeah, I still don't know how to use it. Not even with the manual. Whatever. Fuck. Oh, balls is taking forever. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're pretty much done. The only thing that needed to be installed was the graphics driver, and we're doing that right now. So, here's the problem. This computer doesn't have any of my files on it. It's just blank. All my files that I used previously on my Gateway Fix are right here. All my Steam games, desktop wallpaper, documents, stuff that I was using are all over here. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Well, assuming you can't read my mind, this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to clone this drive, the old Gateway FX drive, onto the RAID. Should be simple enough. All we need to do is use the Acronos boot CD and clone over the image. Should be pretty simple. Hopefully there's enough space. Holy crap. Crap, but it's in the middle of installing a graphics driver. That's not good. Damn it. Oh, this will give me time to find the Acronos boot CD because I have no idea where it is. Oh look, it's done and I still haven't found it yet. So let's let it restart and should be fine. Alright, so we have native resolution now. And we should have arrow support as well. We don't because it's not turned on for some reason. There we go. Let me check it out. I found it. Acronos boot CD. That will help us tremendously. Now we have a perfect installation of Windows 7, nice and clean. Let's replace it with the dirty one. I want to make sure it does not boot to the RAID, which it is now. Okay. So we have, actually this is cool here, actually. This is when you go to the boot menu, and it gives you the boot options. I can install onto Intel Weed. Intel Weed. Hell yes, first of all. But yeah, the PC, it says PCI SCSI. That is the reported RAID volume that is spread across our drives. So we want to boot up to the Acronos boot CD. I'm going to go into True Image Home. We'll start at a very pixelated screen. Takes another 5 years. Okay, now we're at native resolution, I think. It's reading the external drive. So here we are again at the Acronos True Image Home. This is what helped us transfer our SSD image from Windows 90 or our Windows 98 over to an SSD. That was pretty fun. So we can back up a drive, we can recover, but we probably want to use tools and utilities. We probably not yet. Wait, hold your horses. Copy partitions from one disk to another. So this is what we're going to start with. Full control of the hard disk cloning procedure. Yeah, I want to do a manual on that. Oh, cool. ISW stripe. And it does detect that it is a RAID. So we want to select the source disk, which is our Hitachi drive right here. And let's see here, do we have 288.1 gigabytes NTFS? Probably don't have all the space used. So let's go next. And I can't select a target disk because I guess it's not big enough. Fuck. So I would have to send it over to a disk image. I'd have to save it to a disk image. which would require I have a gigantic free space drive, which I can get. It had so much potential. Could I put the RAID stripe onto the other drive? I can! But I don't want to do that. So it can be done, but it has mismatching sizes, and I don't think it can clone if you're not the right size. Other than that, I don't know. So I have to make an archive, and then I would need to restore it. Fuck. That would take frickin' years! Oh my god! Holy shit! Ah, crap. Now it's locked up. That's just great. So it is possible. It does detect the RAID, so I can as a volume, so that's good. I can do that, but I think what I'll have to realistically do is delete some files off of this external drive here and give it a little bit more space, and we'll come back in a couple minutes after I get that done. Okay, so I tried removing some files off of the 320 gig original boot drive for my Gateway FX laptop, and it didn't shrink it far enough to make it actually eligible for a straight clone to the RAID. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to make an image of, this is the 320 gig drive here, the original drive that had originally Windows Vista on it from the Gateway FX right here. And we're going to be making an image of it over to this 1 terabyte drive here, and then when that's done, I'm going to dump the image that was created here onto the RAID. And once it's in image form, it's resizable, so it'll be able to fit. The image size will probably be 217 gigs. The RAID size is about 223, so it's not going to have much wiggle room, but I think it'll be able to do it. So I'm going to be using this machine right here, which has been our sort of Linux SSD machine, but not at the moment. And I'm going to be booting up off of, again, the Acronis boot CD, and we're going to essentially make an image of this onto here, and then transfer this to the RAID, which is over there. So let's get started. Okay, so the main thing to do here, backup. We want to do a disk and partition backup. Right here we have, this is our backup, where the backup's going to go, so we don't want to back that up. This right here, 320 gig, see it says Windows Vista, and that's our original. I believe this drive hasn't been formatted once since the factory from the Gateway FX, so there we have our, I guess, recovery partition. It's 10 gigs? Well, either way, we need it, so it's a good thing to have. And we're going to end up dumping that onto the RAID. Size to back up 226 gigs. Yeah, that extra 10 gigs could be a problem. I don't know what to do now. Fuck. But we'll see, because it's not actually going to use up that much space. That's how big it would be. And we want to put it onto the other drive. So we got a couple local disks here. You want to take a look at C. Now if you take a look right here, it'll let me do it. You got RAID fresh image, and I've already made an image of the Windows 7 we just installed. It's easy enough to do, but I made an image of it so that I don't have to install it again. So what we're going to do here is let's call this Oh great, the keyboard doesn't work, so that's just grand. There we go. Fix that. Let's call this Windows Vista, I guess, FX. That's going to be our backup name. I usually do everything automatically, but we want to take a look at some other things here. It does exclude some files. There's a compression level if I want to compress it. Why this was on the screen the whole time, I don't know. That's fine, that's just really how much storage space it's taking up on the drive. I set this to none. It might actually make the backup go a little bit faster. So, and then we can go ahead and proceed. So it's a little misleading what it's doing here, and a little bit worrying, but it's okay. To see Windows Vista.tib, that's the Acronos disk image format. C is actually the 1 terabyte drive we're putting our backup stuff onto, and it's backing up from the 320 gig Gateway FX drive to the backup drive. I've noticed I end up saying a lot of things over and over again, and I end up saying it differently every single time because it's such a complicated chain of events of what's happening. Like what drive is going to what is going on. Sometimes I lose track, and then that's a problem. So this is going to go, and it's going to back up, and then when it's done, we're going to try and restore the image to the RAID, and hopefully it'll be able to start up. Now, I know you guys have not seen the original Gateway FX hard disk that now has Windows 7 on it. It says Windows Vista. It originally had Windows Vista. I know you guys have never seen that actually boot up on the Gateway FX, but hopefully you'll be able to see it when the RAID starts up. So we'll wait for that. And the advantage to that is it already has all my files on it, already has some games on it, already has some documents on it or whatever, already has Steam installed. I can go right back to using it as I did with my laptop before without having to do a lot more wonky crap. So this will take a while, so I'll come back when it's done. Alright, that took a couple hours to actually do, but apparently now we have the image file on the external drive. So we can go ahead and shut this computer down. We're done with it, and we're done with our original 320 drive. So we're going to be hooking up this one. This is our terabyte drive that now has the image of this on it, and this will be installed on the Gateway FX on the RAID. So right now I have the 1 terabyte drive with the image on it of the original 320 gig drive that originally came with this computer. I'm going to be using Acronos True Image yet again to restore the image to the RAID. Alright, we're back here again, but now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go to Recovery. I'm going to browse for backup. The drive is now blinking a lot. And we got this local disk here. So now we sort of have two options. If it turns out I want to go back to the fresh Windows 7 install we just finished, I'd go with that one. But if we want to go with this guy right here, which has our 320 gig original installation, so select the disk there. Next, recover whole disks and partitions. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Select the items to recover. All of them, thank you. Okay, so I have to select Snoop Dogg, is where I'm going to be putting it. Don't want to put it here because that's the source. This is our source drive where the image is. We want to put it here. But there's also that as well, so accept that. I guess. Free space before 0, partition size, free space after 1 megabyte. This probably won't end well. Okay, so I was being stupid. I went back a step. This was unchecked, so I was just recovering partitions and not entire disks. And I don't want to recover partitions, I just want to recover entire disks. So next, and for some fucking reason I can't click on the RAID as a destination disk. So I just wasted like 5 hours. That's great. Probably because it's too small. Just the absolute total size of disk 2. Now, before I go any further, just looking back at this while I'm actually trying to edit this video right now, for whatever reason, I did not look at the numbers that are on the screen right now, which are actually very important. Now, this is one of two problems that are inherent in what we're trying to do here. As you can see, the capacity and used space are exactly the same on the NTFS unlabeled partition, which is the Windows 7 installation I'm trying to transfer over. The problem with that is when we were imaging the disk, for whatever reason, it decided to think that the entire drive was totally filled. Now, I don't know if this is because there is fragmented data, or there's extra files on there that were quote-unquote deleted, but still on the drive, so there were actually sectors that were written to, but not properly flagged as free space. I'm not sure, but for whatever reason, it just says the entire image is filled with all 288.1 gigs. That's why it won't copy over, because it can't shrink it. It can't shrink the free space because there is none. So that's why it doesn't work. So before I can even finish correcting my video, I now already have to make a correction to the correction of my video. Take a look at this shot, which is a little bit before I started imaging the 320 gig hard disk from the Gateway FX. As you can see, the used space reports 217.5 gigabytes, and the capacity is 288. So that means that it is showing and does detect that there is some used space. And even if we add together the used space from the other partition, which is the hidden partition, which is probably the recovery partition, if we add 8 gigs to 217, we don't get 288. There would still be some used space. Even if it was 10, we get 227 gigs used. So, as you can see, before we started imaging it, we had some free space. Now, afterwards, in this shot, which I originally started with when correcting, it's used all the way up. So I have no idea what's going on. I think it might be time for me to move on from using a Acronis True Image, regardless of what version it is, and try to find a better disk imaging software that can properly resize based on free space. Back to the original correction. Part 2 is the other thing. The reason I wouldn't be able to do it anyway is that when those files, when this file system gets copied over to the RAID, any file smaller than 16 kilobytes becomes 16 kilobytes. So if I have thousands and thousands of files that are a couple bytes in size, those all become 16 kilobytes, inflating the actual space required for that partition to an extreme amount that I have really no idea at this point what it would be. So what I'm trying to do now is impossible unless I make a bigger RAID. So this video kind of sucks because I didn't get it to work and I didn't do my research or whatever the case may be. But we're going to keep going and see me derp around a little bit and see if I can make it work, I guess. Enjoy. Okay, I think I'm finally onto something here. I switched over to the 2016 of Acronis True Image boot CD, so we're using the absolute bleeding edge latest version. Even though it looks exactly the same, it's different, okay? So right now, instead of selecting all partitions to recover to the RAID, I'm just selecting one, and I'm setting the destination as this Snoop Dogg, which is our fresh Windows 7 installation. So if I say accept here, let's see what it's going to do, but it's not actually working correctly. See how it's like sort of sometimes letting me click on it and sometimes it's not letting me click on it? I have no fucking idea. See, now it would let me click on it. See what I mean? What? It's sort of like an all or nothing kind of thing, and it's annoying. It's not, it's glitched out. It doesn't want to do it. Ah, so it thinks it's full. It's 288 gigs. Out of 298 gigs, it thinks it's full. That's the number one problem. Because it doesn't think it's partially full, it's completely full. So now I have no idea what to do. I'd have to make another image with even more stuff deleted off of this. How the fuck am I going to do that? Oh my god. I'd have to boot this computer off of its original disk, go in there and try and delete stuff from the user folder just out of desperation. I don't know what else to do. And then we'll delete enough, and then hopefully we can back it up again and then be done. Oh my god. I got a kernel pad. What's that? I put the disc. I put the discs back. The SSD's back in the computer. And the RAID failed. I forgot to turn the RAID on. I turned it back on. It failed. The RAID failed. It tried to boot back up. And watch what happens. Wait. What the? What? How did this survive? I formatted it! There's no way! What the fuck? So the RAID has failed. I don't really know how to fix it. So I'm just going to delete it, I guess. Hopefully the previous stuff on there will die. It didn't last time I remade the RAID, so I'm not quite sure if any remnants of our previous installation is going to survive. But it probably will. Hopefully not. So let's just remake the RAID. In the time we've been waiting, I have already re-imaged the 320 gig drive from the Gateway FX again. It's now 170 gigs instead of 288, so hopefully it will clone onto the RAID. So let's go ahead and delete it. And I already have this RAID backed up, so this should be good to delete. Yes, so now it's probably gone. Create RAID volume, read 420, shit. 16, fuck, and RAID volume. I hope this doesn't include the drive that I have plugged on USB. Let me unplug it. Yes. That would suck. Oh my god, if it wiped the fucking USB drive. Oh my god. I would piss tremendously. Shit. It's not, you can't do a RAID, you can't do USB drives off of the Intel RAID controller. It just won't do it. It won't. It won't. Come on, come on. Okay, alright. So, disk and partition recovery. Browse. Hopefully there is something to browse. Oh, thank God it's right here. Whoo! Shut up! Alright, so here's the new disk image that I made that hopefully is going to work. So we've selected the archive. This one's 170 gigs. Next. For recovery method, whole disks and partitions. We're going to make it happen this time. So here's all our crap. Come on, this is it, this is it, this is it, this is it, this is it. Again, we... Fuck. Okay, not done yet. We just do one partition at a time. We do this, and then we just make it resize, which is possible. Or it's not, because the RAID is not formatted. This sucks! Okay, so of course we have our unallocated space. I've booted up to the Windows 7 disk again so we can get a partition back so that baby little Acronis can actually do something. Drive options advanced. So we click new and we say apply, and that will format the RAID. I guess it's understandable. You know, whatever. But we do not click next yet. We just cancel the installation. And we restart the computer with the Acronis disk. Let's see if it'll let me do it normally with the full disk now. If it doesn't work, then I'll do the individual partition. Whole disks and partitions, okay. How many times am I going to have to do this? Oh my god. And it's going to say that none of the discs work. Yeah, I know. So, we go back to this, uncheck that, and uncheck that. And we go right here, and we see new location. I'm out of options. I would have to shrink the partition on the 320 drive in order for it to think that it'll fit. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I would be better off just restoring the Windows 7 fuck. Right here. Or right here. It's fresh. Go back to Windows 7, everything's great. Start from the ground up. It's not that hard to reinstall Steam and re-download a couple games. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So why don't we just do that? As you've seen, we destroyed the RAID, we erased it, we recreated it, we reformatted it. Now let's see how well we can actually just restore an image, since clearly our previous plan isn't going to work. So it's just a proof of concept how easily you can image a fresh install of Windows and get it back working exactly how it was before. Hold disks and partitions, and watch this time it will work perfectly, because I'll have a disk to say, oh, and look at that! There it is! I can just do it. Right there, man, right there. Okay. And options. Proceed. And now we're just going back to our plain old Windows installation. Will you guys ever see that old ass installation that hasn't been formatted since the factory? Probably not. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Fuck off. So according to this, it's only going to take 7 minutes because it's only about 18 gigs. Okay, as you can see, it's already done. Nice! So I wish everything else only took a couple minutes to finish. So let's go ahead and close this and eject the disk, let the computer restart, and we'll be right back into Windows. Hey! Camera's gonna die in 2 minutes. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it hasn't blue screened yet. Oh my god! And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the power of a Chronos True Image, I guess. Yeah, keeps our graphics driver and everything. And there we are. There's our crap on the desktop. Perfect image. Perfect. So, you must restart your computer to apply these changes. It's probably just gonna suck ass. Whatever the case, I think that pretty much wraps it up for now. Maybe in a later episode we can actually get that old partition working. I really just don't want to put any more wear and tear on that older drive. But for right now, I will see you guys next time, and maybe we can tackle the challenges of RAID later on. Thanks for watching.